What was the situation back then?
It was just that I didn't get along with some of the people he ran with.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people that was with Cash Money, like I told you, you know, all your friends ain't my friends. I salute them for what they done, but if I don't get along with the people you get along with, you know, I'm not gonna do business with you. That's just it. He probably felt the same way. He probably didn't get along with some of the people that I ran with.
Yeah.
You know, it was two different communities, two different hoods, and
two different projects, right?
Two different projects.
Okay, you were from?
I was from the Calliope, and they was from the Magnolia.
Okay. Right.
So, but you know, I mean, that's how it go, man. Like sometimes you don't want to mix with some of the people.
Yeah.
You know that it's just life. If you know, if you really from the streets, you like, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
You understand? And before we came in the game, niggas was on some bullshit. So we thought we had to take it straight ghetto and show a nigga how we keep it real uptown New Orleans, you know?
Pete and Baby, I remember at a Source Award, I believe. And me and Wayne, we small in the motherfucker. Pete came up to Baby, man, you know what I'm saying, with big bodyguards, you feel me? But Baby ain't back down. Baby like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You know, Baby ain't no bitch ass nigga. I don't know the world think that, you feel me? But he ain't no bitch. Baby a real gangster, man, you know what I'm saying? So when Pete came up to him, you know, they were talking like men, but they ain't squash nothing. They just was like, what's up, nigga? What's up? Bam, bam, bam. Ain't nothing happened, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, back then we was young, you know, we ain't rock with that. That ain't rock with us. So that's just how that was. We ain't see eye to eye with nothing. You know, it was really me and him. A lot of artists got along with each other.
Yeah.
It was more of me and him.
No Limit and Cash Money, two of the biggest labels to ever be involved in the hip-hop game. You know, at the height of their success, never worked together. But artists on both labels had personal relationships coming up in New Orleans, you know. But it was the affiliations that would hinder them collaborating, man. It was the street ties, the street element of everything. You know, No Limit, they more so represented the Calliope. Cash Money had people tied to the Magnolia projects. And at one point in time, the Magnolia, well, people out of the Magnolia, the Hot Boys, the original, the street Hot Boys, and people in the Calliope had beef. You know, it was a lot of bloodshed, a lot of violence, you know, that took place because of those differences. Although at one point in time, the Calliope and Magnolia were clicked up, they were cool.
It is a serious thing. So if you were in the Calliope back then in Magnolia, it was like, we was right by each other though. It was almost like less than a mile or two away, maybe 2 miles away, 3 miles away. So, but it was real, and we didn't understand it because the city was so small, right? So if, like, you might be from there, but you walking 2 or 3 miles, you got to go to school, you got to do whatever. So somebody hit your man, and then you hit them. But you know what the crazy? It started off as fights. And then somebody just upped the ratchet, right? And then it's like, boom, somebody got killed. And then that person, you know, and it got stupid big because like 1 year I think we was murder capital of the world. And that was, in any city. So they took it real serious. So I had people, actually I had family in the Magnolia that I couldn't even go see.
Y'all, let me tell y'all something. We a couple blocks up from each other. Do you think if it was beef, it would have been a walk? I like them dudes, man. I was happy for them. Even though we just don't get on together, we don't get on. Like, I don't fake it with people. If I don't know you, I ain't hang out with you. I don't do that. You know, so I don't do that. Like, dude, you see, I showed them dudes love. Everywhere I got out, shout out to Cash Money, man, for doing what they gotta do. I respect that they come from my hood. I want to see them win. I want to see them eat.
You know, Cash Money, No Limit, that shit was real.
Yeah,
you know, they ain't fuck with us. We ain't fuck with them.
Magnolia project.
Nah, that shit real. That
so it was a project beef? Like
two different. No, we from two different projects. So
that's what I'm saying.
It just didn't never mix, and me and his relationship never mixed. You know what I mean? Maybe the artists, but we didn't fuck with each other, so they couldn't fuck with each other. Don't get me wrong, I got the utmost respect for, you know, he from my same city, so niggas then came up and he did some shit niggas still trying to do. He put out 35 albums in 1 year, you heard me? So that's a lot of hustling, but I salute to everything he doing, you know?
God damn it.
Master P, he was the first to really break into the mainstream. You know, when he signed that groundbreaking distribution deal with Priority Records around like 1996.
Wow. And I just started selling CDs out the trunk of my car. Right. Moving from city to city. I went to New York, to Chicago, to Texas, everywhere, pushing CDs. People don't know, sometimes you gotta invest in yourself. Yeah. So I went to Michael Jackson attorney. So everybody wanna be in the music business, but you need to know your business. Right. At that time.
The business of the music.
Yeah, so I went to Michael Jackson, was the highest paid entertainer at that time at 22% of record. And I said, I went to his attorney, he said, man, if I'm gonna sit down, which is gonna cost you $25,000. I went sit down with him, he said, man, look, the only way you're gonna get a deal bigger than Michael Jackson is a distribution deal. And it's an 85-15 deal, but then you're gonna have to come up with about $200,000 or $300,000. I said,
for each project?
No, we just say that's what you need for marketing money.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna get that deal, I'm like, dude, I gave you $25,000 and tell me I need $200,000 to $300,000. Wow. But it was probably the best 25 grand I spent in my life. Wow. Because after that, that's all I wanted. I wanted a distribution deal. Every record company that came at me said I wanted a distribution deal. And then when Priority came, they said, if you're gonna pay the marketing, right, we're gonna give you that deal. And that's what happened. I ended up making more money than the record company.
Wow. And No Limit went on to be successful, selling more than 70 million records, like dropping dozens and dozens and dozens of projects in a short time frame. A lot of those albums going gold or platinum without even releasing real singles or videos.
What people don't realize is in 2 years, he's had 14 CDs. He shipped 250,000, 1,500,000, 400,000, 400,000, 300,000, 500,000, 2,400,000, 1,500,000, and 500,000 CDs shipped. All done underground. All done underground.
Well, I mean, that just go to show you that just got to keep your head up and keep strong and never give up. Because when you're about to give up, that might be when you're just about to make it.
But yeah, Master P, he was the one who really popped it off, and that inspired, people like Birdman and Slim, who were already had Cash Money bubbling, making millions independently. They ended up signing a major deal with Universal Records, a distribution deal. It was kind of similar to what P signed with Priority.
I heard, I think even before I really heard a record, I heard that Universal had did a deal for $30 million and allowed them to own their own masters in an 85-15 split to Cash Money, the greatest hip-hop record deal ever.
Definitely.
Like, how did y'all get to the 30 million number? Was it just like, or even just saying, you own your masters, that don't happen?
No, that don't happen. They was trying to do a one-off, but I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna just leave. And as I'm leaving, Mel of Winter comes out, him and Doug. Like, what's wrong? He said, come in my office. I'm like, she trying to offer us a one-off. There was this woman, Jocelyn, at the time.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't fucking with that. We're gonna just go home. Thank y'all for flying us out here, man. We straight. That man wouldn't let us leave till he gave us what we wanted and made sure we got what we wanted. We got the percentage we wanted and the money we wanted. He ain't even questioned it.
Man, give me some of that camera. What's the crackling?
Let me know everything there is to know about Cash Money.
All right, first thing to know about us, I got the rap game on lock. You must know that first. Can't nothing and nobody fade what we trying to do and what we about to do. Second thing is, we got this game on our level. You understand what I'm saying? It's Cash Money.
Something interesting, man, I came across is the fact that, Birdman, he sat down with Nick Cannon, and he revealed during that interview that he had met with Priority Records to see if they would sign him and give him a distribution deal. But he said that when he had the meeting with him, they told him that Master P said he would leave the label if they signed Cash Money.
I went to Priority. It's some weird shit here, right? Go to Priority. They fly us to California. Me and Slim, a couple of homies, we go out there. Nigga come in there and said, man, I'm sorry we can't do the deal. He said, because Master P said if we sign y'all, he leaving. I just jumped on a jet and went back to New Orleans and was like, fuck it, we just gonna grind with it.
Even, you know, people like Mr. Marcello, who released the project on No Limit, but was a representative of the Magnolia. You know, he said he lost out on a multi-million-dollar Def Jam deal because Master P would not be featured on the same song as Birdman on his album.
We asked P about the second single, right? P was supposed to put the money out for the second single. P told us, fuck a second single, go get another budget.
Oh, like do another album?
Right, which we'd got 500,000 again. We were so busy trying to make it go platinum, thinking about getting money off record sales.
I understand.
He like, fuck that.
I understand the vision.
Right. We dropped ourselves on priority. We met Russell Simmons at Macy's when they was promoting Babyface. Asked Russell Simmons, you know, we walked up to Russell Simmons and was like, yeah, you know, this Mr. Marcello. Russell Simmons was like, I know who he is. Mind you, Brian, they got 3.5 mics from Source Magazine. Wasn't no niggas in no South doing that. Like, I was lyrics. Wasn't no niggas in no, check it. Wasn't no niggas in no South getting no 3.5 mic. Like, check the No Limit album, bro. You got to be talking Fiend, Mac, or Slim, or some shit like that, or Mama Mia, some shit when you come talking about getting 3.5 mics, because, like, that's us getting judged by New York. So, for me to get 3.5 mics, he knew exactly where I was. And he was like, him and Dodo exchanged numbers and shit. And he was like, this one I was supposed to sign with Def Jam, bro. That's why we was so fucked up when Dodo got killed. But what happened was, we got in touch with Russell Simmons. Doe made it clear that he had a relationship with Master P and Stunner. Mind you, at this time, Mr. No Limit, what No Limit don't, and Cash Money don't fuck with each other, right? Who's the first person to have No Limit and Cash Money on the same album? Me. But no niggas doing that. No Limit and Cash Money ain't fuck with no niggas. If No Limit fuck with him, Cash Money probably ain't fuck with him. Right?
Vice versa.
Right. So, Russell come up with this amazing idea of, yeah, if you can get Baby and Stunner on the same song, yeah, 5 million. Distribution deal, 3 albums.
Damn.
We called Stunner. Stunner says, send a fucking record. Say it. Stunner did 32 balls on that bitch.
That third one, G's.
Okay. Sent that bitch to Pete.
That's the hardest verse.
Pete said, I ain't fucking with that. He ain't fucking with it. This is, and I can tell you this also, right? The nigga Stunner put us up on some game too. He was like, when y'all do it, put it out independent first, and then sign your deal. Like making some independent money first. Like he was really putting us up on game and shit. Because he knew once the shit got done, we had the fucking deal. Like, nobody had done this. Didn't happen. The people was like, man, I'm not fucking with that.
It was a time where you definitely had to pick a side, right? You know what I mean? Especially in the city, right? You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of street politics involved. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, because, you know, they had an entourage of, you know, super goons and super killers around them. And, you know, we had an entourage of super goons and super killers around us. And it was real street beef involved, like, you know, where it was, you know, the bloodshed, like, you know, like, during the, you know, the mid-90s and, you know, all that. So, you know, that shit could have got dangerous. Like, that shit was, you know, dangerous. So we kind of, you know, yeah, man. I'm just, you know.
So I mean, at that time, could you not work with a No Limit artist?
I mean, nah, we wasn't. I mean, yeah, back then in the beginning, nah, it ain't wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, you know, we had our relationships, you know, me, like I said,
like
me
on the
Slim,
side.
yeah, we had our relationships on the side, but just, you know, you know what I mean? I mean, I think, you know, Baby got a big super ego. Right. You know, P got a big super ego. You know what I mean? And, you know, even if we wanted to work together, them niggas wouldn't have cleared that shit.
During his appearance on Drink Champs, BG mentioned his friendship with Soulja Slim, another artist who was tied to No Limit Records at one point in time, you know, dropped 2 projects on the label before he left and did his own thing independently with his Cutthroat Committee movement.
Slim, full effect. We in a wild Magnolia right now. We in a Magnolia right now, you heard me? You know what I'm saying? I'm from Calliope. I got people in the Magnolia. Don't stop. Day one. Slim out. He just got out. It done freed me. Once again, got out of school. Not out of school. Out of penitentiary. Tell me when you started. When I started back in 49, like about 9 and 1. And 9 and 1 started back in 49, you know what I'm saying? Now, how long was that rap thing you did? How long was you gone for? Yeah, I've been gone. You might have worked 3, 5. You know what I'm saying? I come home, drop, give it to him raw. Went right back 3.5 months, but it don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It don't stop. You out? What you plan on doing to the game now? I'm gonna hurt it. Okay. I'm gonna hurt the game. But they ain't gonna respect me. They break it down. You know that. You know what I'm saying? Give me 3 points. You go ahead. 3 points. Okay. Yeah. I heard of some stunt now going out in Magnolia Project. Well, you know they am around them. They love stunt. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, Uptown, we love stunting, period, you understand? But not all like, you know what I'm saying, how it really, you know what I'm saying? Go down like that, well, guess what? Yeah, we ain't with that shit. I mean, that stuff. But guess what? Stay real, it don't stop. See, when I deliver, you know what I'm saying? Look, it be straight from the street. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep it real, gonna be straight from the street. This is where, you know what I'm saying? This is where I started it right here, and this is where I'm gonna finish it. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. We about keeping it real. Calliope, Magnolia, everything hooking up together, showing the world that we can make this thing happen in a big way. That's what ain't nothing but love. I got love for the Calliope project, the Magnolia project, the Methamphetamine project, the whole world.
And the whole down south part, you understand what I'm saying?
And during this appearance on Drink Champs, BG talked about, you know, them actually knowing each other since elementary school and how he noticed, you know, over the years, Slim come up in the music game within New Orleans before going on to sign with No Limit. And, you know, obviously BG, he was early in the game as well. You know, he put out his first project on Cash Money in his early teens and went on to become one of the biggest stars on the label before things went left for him. And he decided to leave and to start his Chopper City movement. But yeah, during this Drink Champs interview, BG reflected on his friendship with Soulja Slim, talked about how wild he was, but also how respected and talented he was, and how people in New Orleans looked at him like he was Tupac. And he talked about how, you know, they were in the process of merging their companies together to start their own movement, the Cutthroat Committee Chopper City movement. They were working on an album together, so on and so forth, man. But, you know, the tragedy ended up taking place, man, where Slim lost his life. He was gunned down the day before Thanksgiving back in 2003 outside of a duplex that he had bought his mom. According to reports, you know, he had left to run some errands, and we had pulled back up in his Escalade. He hopped out, was walking towards the duplex when somebody came out and shot him multiple times.
Soulja Slim like our New Orleans Tupac, man. You know what
That
I mean?
is the New Orleans Tupac.
You know, now big facts, like, you know, one of the realest niggas that ever done it. You know what I mean? And, you know, Slim was a cold-blooded gangster, like, for real. Like, Slim just was, you know, different. But Slim had 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yo, I just want to thank everybody in hip-hop because I couldn't did this alone. And y'all know we came a long way. This the new No Limit family. And we've been we've been through the struggle. We've been on top. We want to thank, first of all, I got to thank the man up above, because without him, could none of this happen. Also, you know, I mean, I grew up in the projects, and I never could imagine that one day I'll be sitting up here being an inspiration, knowing that, you know what, if he could do it, we all could do it. And I think that's what everybody in the room is for, because, you know, I got to look up. I'm going to be a couple of people I want to mention that I looked up to. You know what I'm saying? I definitely got to take my hat off to Rap A Lot Records, Lil J. You know what I'm saying? For real. I'm going to tell y'all, without Lil J, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. I'd probably be still in the hood hustling, trying to make it, trying to survive. And I'm going to tell y'all, definitely I got to take my hat off to Cash Money for, you know, definitely for representing, you know what I'm saying? For real. Calliope, Magnolia, on the top.
Be sure to check out, you know, our Magnolia and Calliope documentary. video on BG Derrick, interviews with people out of New Orleans, Mr. Marcello, Gangsta Williams, etc., man. And if you're messing with the video, be sure to hit the like button, drop a comment. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already connected with us, man. Until next time, I'm going to holler at y'all. 100.